Today we're talking about dwarves, or dwemer, also known as deep elves for those of you who don't know. This mysterious race of elves has always caught my attention while playing Skyrim, and I'm sure it has yours as well. They all disappeared mysteriously according to multiple sources, and they left behind the most technologically advanced society in all of Tamriel. Their steampunk design of their ancient cities always caught my gaze, and the automatons that currently inhabit them gave me a sense of excitement and fear.
Oh. Oh, hi. You are way too strong. Holy mo- Oh, shit, I need healing potions. Well, rip.
All of these things made me wonder what it would be like to play Skyrim as a dwarf, and let me tell you, it's fun. I'll start things off by listing the mods used in order to make this a possibility because the modding community is awesome and they deserve some credit. The first mod I'll talk about is the Time Lost Dwemer. This is without a doubt the best race mod you could get for being a dwemer. Want to look like a badass elf that's been living underground for hundreds of years? Check. Do you want to have special bonuses to crafting dwarven armor and be able to craft it at the very beginning of the game? Check. Do you want to wield the power to bend space and time? Well, guess what? This mod has all of that and much, much more. So much more that at the time of writing this script, I realized I missed out on a lot of the mod's features, so trust me, you're going to be in for a ride when you get this mod. I can't wait to go back myself and experience what I missed. The next mod listed will be a fairly simple mod, Dwemer Armor. If you've ever felt that the Dwarven armor style isn't for you, then this mod is. It adds a new set of specifically named Dwemer armor, which you can find in multiple Dwemer ruins. I found it easiest to get the set from Reachwind Eyrie, for those of you who are wondering. The set has a completely new design and is a tier up from the normal dwarven armor in terms of defense. I added this mod to have a nice looking starter set of armor for my character. Last but not least, we'll be adding the new quest mod Legends of Ethereum. This mod gives us a brand new dungeon to go through and it adds the ability to craft leveled variations of Ethereum weapons and armor. With all these mods addressed, I present to you Bill. Bill is the dwarf of the day and really hates it when you ask why he's not smaller. His race and him were bullied by giants who promptly named the Dwemer dwarves, because they seem so small compared to the giants. He grew up learning about Dwemer automatons from his late grandfather and received a peculiar gift from him after his passing. It was a holographic device with a message from his ancestor to him. The message stated the great and powerful Ethereum Forge rested in Skyrim. He decided it was his job to find it and protect it from the fools of Tamriel who would likely do harm to the world with it, and so begins our story of Bill here in Markarth. Bill figures that Markarth is a good start for the search as it's literally a massive dwarven city with another dwarven city below it. Bill makes his way to the Understone Keep, which is the Jarl's quarters for Markarth. Inside, he looks for the court wizard Calselmo, who is the scholar of Dwemer ruins.
These bug crabs are pretty special. This guy can burrow right into the stone. That's actually terrifying. You know, I've seen a mud crab just snip somebody's arm off once. No effort whatsoever either. The most horrifying event of my life.
Bill then makes his way to Nishan to take care of the big one.
Alright, so that was the poison one, right? Surely that was the poison one. Just a public service announcement for everyone. Do not step on bones. They will increase your velocity tenfold, and you will go into a wall and break your nose.
Which wasn't too hard of a task. The real problem was when he entered to take on the automatons of the Dwemer ruins. These guys are tough. The first enemy I ran into took basically no damage and constantly regenerated their health, which made things take a lot longer. After a sudden realization that taking on the giant Beyblade was currently suboptimal, Bill makes his way to a less frightening area of Skyrim and decides it would be best to practice up on his fighting skills. Bill stops by Whiterun to pick up a bounty on some bandits at Silent Moon's camp. Once he's finished using them as target practice, he picks some flowers for a little bit of alchemy leveling.
Okay. Oh, a bee. Hello, Mr. Bee. How are you doing today? Oh yeah, you're just floating around doing your thing. You know, you're a really fucking big bee. Hey, you're actually kind of horrifying. Are all bees in Skyrim this big? Oh, okay. I do not want that thing to sting me.
Once some healing potions had been crafted, Bill entered the halted stream camp for some more combat practice. Once the camp was cleared and their loot was sold, Bill turned in the bounty for some extra change. After realizing I had the Dwarven smithing perk already unlocked, I took Bill back to Markarth so he could pick up some Dwemer scrap to smelt down into bars for a lot of Dwarven bolts. We also made a Dwarven crossbow and axe on the side. With round 20, I mean 2, initiated against a Dwarven Beyblade, Bill could finally do enough damage to be a threat, and we made it over our first obstacle of the dungeon. Unfortunately, Bill let his victory go to his head, and all progress was washed away by the fires of hell from Dwarven Magetta. Thanks, Dragon Ball. Can I wish for my progress back? After redoing 5 minutes of combat, and this time treating Magetta with respect, Bill was able to pick off the remaining Falmer and Automata. This left the main hub of the ruin safe, and it was time to pick a door and complete the rest of the dungeon. After many minutes of kiting Falmer from the first area, Bill finally made it to something interesting, being the armory. Taking care of the enemies inside wasn't a big deal, and he got some okay loot, most notable thing being the Dwarven power armor. Yes, you heard me, power armor. Unfortunately, I didn't have power armor training, and I didn't know where to go for that, so I was out of luck on that deal. Moving on to the end of the dungeon, Bill ran into the boss of Nishan Zel, being the psycho ghost of my future self.
Okay.
If you don't eat your meat, you can't have any pudding. How can you have any pudding if you don't eat your meat?
With my future self destroyed and Nishan Zel's security system reactivated, Markarth was safe from the Falmer, and I from being Squidward from that one episode of SpongeBob.
Okay, maybe you haven't messed up yet, but you will. You will. And when you do, I'll be there. I'll be there.
Bill proceeds to take some dusty old journals to Calcelmo, telling him his whole expedition team is dead. He then gives up on his dreams and gives Bill all the research funding as a reward. With the money he got from Nishan Zel, Bill decided it would be best to buy a player home, as his pockets were overflowing with Dwemer scrap. So Bill purchased a Tundra homestead and checked out his new digs, and was sorely disappointed when there was no wood chopping block, ruining my dreams of becoming a lumberjack. It also made crafting bolts extremely inconvenient.
What you doing there, Bill? Satellite dish trouble?
Nah, I'm just up here to kill myself.
After tediously crafting all the bolts I would need, I took my anger out by abusing the local wildlife. After I stopped frothing at the mouth, I entered my next target for Dwarven materials, being Reachwind Eerie. I was graced with the presence of the true Dwarven porn, Hootales, who seemed to be missing his Dwarven foil hat to keep the Dwemer radio waves from frying his mind. God rest his tails. As for the real reason I stopped here, there was that unique set of Dwemer armor I mentioned at the beginning of the video, along with a very happy accident, the automatic Dwarven Ballista. As you can imagine, this thing is great because you can just
Beat the devil out of it.
After playing around with the auto ballista for a bit, Bill leveled up his alchemy for better healing potions and decided to check in with Calcelmo one more time. Thanks to his help with Nishan Zel, he was granted access to the Dwarven Museum in Markarth and figured he may find answers as to where the Ethereum Forge is located. With a little bit of looking around, we eventually found the book Legends of Ethereum, which spoke of a Dwemer ruin pertaining to the forge, and decided he'd check it out. But Bill wanted to be prepared this time with every advantage he could get, so he decided to put his skills as a Dwemer to use and did what any deep elf would do: craft an automaton and autocannon to do the heavy lifting for him. With the automata fully armored and weaponized, he was ready to head to Arkanthams. Once inside, Bill heard a voice telling him to go back, and like a teenager when you tell them not to do drugs, he ignored that and kept on going. Later, the ghost of Katria finally shows herself and decides, if I won't leave, then she'll help me, and boy is she helpful.
We do it now? There's no way you're in combat with something. What are you in combat with? Alright, hold on. Is there something inside of here? What's going on? Fuck. Okay. And we'll just load an older save, I guess. Excuse me. Okay. Are you okay? No idea what's going on there.
After completing a puzzle made for toddlers, Bill gets a shard of the Ethereum press needed in order to enter the Ethereum forge. Next, I pretended I'm playing Minecraft and dive into ankle-deep water to make a quick exit. After reaching Mazalf, instead of going through the whole ruin I needed, I just entered the storeroom, which was easy pickings for the next Ethereum shard. Next, I visit Dwarf for the third Ethereum shard, which just houses a few abominations.
Oh boy. Yeah, keep tanking. Down he goes. And down he goes. What the fuck is all of this?
With those out of the way, it left very little room for Falmer to continue aliving, and I snagged the third Ethereum shard. After that, Bill gets the last shard just hanging out in the open for anyone to take. With all 4 shards acquired, Bill can finally reach his goal and craft any artifact of legend at the Ethereum forge, which, after a small fight with the Colossus and Automata, he does just that. Bill decides on the Ethereum crown, so he may have 2 standing stones activated at once. Next, Bill decides to show off his crowning achievement at the Bannered Mare in Whiterun, finally proving to Nazim that he's better than the Cloud District. While he's waiting for someone to comment on his crown, no one actually cares, he notices a letter with a job to uncover another Dwemer ruin. To take his mind off of his disappointment, he decides to go and help out the expedition. Once he entered the mine, he quickly discovered a vein of Ethereum ore, but his pickaxe isn't good enough to mine it. So in order to find a way to do so, he heads further in. After a bit of walking, Bill is met with a grand sight of the Dwemer city and the corpses of the expedition team. Bill decides to try for the next big tower in the middle, but realizes the levers are all sealed shut. With each lever having a corresponding chamber in the same direction, he decides to go and check them out in hopes of opening the tower. Most of the dungeon wasn't much of a problem for Bill, as he had already turned himself into a killing machine, but he did find some Ethereum ingots along the way, and more importantly, the Dwarven pickaxe. After all the levers became usable again, he was able to make his way up the tower to his grand prize being a full set of Ethereum armor. With the source of Ethereum acquired and the forge located, Bill felt as though he had achieved his goal. Now he just needed to find a good way to safeguard it. He felt his first steps would be upgrading all of his Ethereum gear he acquired and maybe even working on that Dwarven power armor so nothing could get past him. The best place to do all this would be the Ethereum forge, and so he made his way back to what would be the true beginning of his journey.
So you let me right to it. I'll have to thank Mozarus. Now I can begin dismantling this monstrosity.
Now, by dismantling this monstrosity, you best mean my face, because I'm not letting you touch this here forge.
The denizens of Baron Zell send their regards.
Shit. Come to think of it, that tornado may throw off the bolts. No, I need to prepare to counter his... Oh, Jesus, what the hell? Welcome, my friend, to our group. I am the Dragonborn, and you are my newest member of my team. No, you don't understand. We need to get back to the Ethereum Forge now. You see what happens when you do things this way? Right. Let's calm down for a second and take it easy. Yeah, there's nothing to worry about, my friend. If it's that creepy guy you were worried about, I already hurled him to High Rock. You can do that? Good, then everything is fine. Indeed. So let's just take a step back and maybe start with introductions. What's your name? Bill. That's it? Just Bill? Yeah, I don't see what the problem is. What's your name? Brother Baster. The hell kind of name is that? Yeah, and what about Bill? That's the most bland name I've ever heard of. Yeah, at least I'm not a walking Thanksgiving advertisement. Thanks what? Come to think of it, why are we out here in the middle of nowhere?
Well, the last few times I tried my spell song with different tunes, it had some complications.
Oh god, they're everywhere!
Huh. So you can just teleport anyone anywhere with that then? Not exactly. There are specific pitches and changes to the tune I need to make in order to find people, and for some reason it picked up both you and the creepy guy. But after giving me the equivalent of the cosmic middle finger, I decided to bring you over.
Interesting.
Who's the guy over there?
Oh, that's Crippleborn. It's best not to make eye contact. What just happened to him? That's one of his famous tricks. He'll either do 1,000 years of pain to you or actually kill you in 5 minutes.
See, my friend, all is fine. Hey, I've got a concert scheduled in Solitude. Why don't you come with us and you can relax and listen to some music? We can talk things over. And we'll get you back to the Ethereum Forge.
Oh no, I don't trust any of you with that. Sure, we can talk, but if that guy is way in High Rock, then everything should be okay for now.
Then it's a date. Let's head over now.
You're just lucky he didn't give you the Crippleborn treatment.
1,000 years of pain!